The patch 9.10 patch notes just dropped, and we are seeing some insane changes that are going to spice up the meta and change the game. A whole new armor option is now in play, Phoenix is getting reworked, the Phantom is getting buffed, and Run and Gun is getting some touch-ups. Don't worry though, because we are going to break it all down for you today in this week's patch breakdown, so just stick with us. Before we get into it though, if you guys are struggling a bit this act, don't worry, we've got you covered. Over at SkillCapped, our Aim God Masterclass is a 1-hour course that is designed to teach you everything that you need to know about mastering your mechanics in Valorant. 10 years ago, a lot of players believed that having crazy aim was mostly a genetics thing, but over the years that has been debunked. We believe basically any one of you can hit Immortal nowadays if given the right advice, and that's exactly why we offer a rank improvement guarantee, meaning if you don't climb, you don't pay. So if you're looking to climb this act, be sure to check out SkillCapped using the link below for a discount, and other than that, let's get into these patch notes. Of course, we've got to start out with one of the biggest changes hitting this patch, Regen shields. Now, I know, what a lot of you heard about these initially, it looked kind of confusing, but we're here to break it down. So the way that Regen shields work is they cost 650 credits and will provide you with a 25 health shield with 50 health in reserves that will refresh a few seconds after taking damage. An interesting note with these shields is that they will absorb 100% of the damage taken until they break, which compared to normal shields only absorbs 66% of the damage, causing the player to take the other 33%. This means if you just get clipped by a classic shot or maybe some piece of utility, you'll actually just not lose any health, which seems important for being able to take advantage of that full shield. Let us know what you guys think about Regen shields in the comments below. We're interested to see how these play into the meta in the next few weeks. Next up, let's talk about the Cypher nerfs. So the number one thing that people hate the most about Cypher is those pesky one-way tripwires that are just so annoying to counter. Tell me if you felt this before. You're inching up into a one-way trip, trying to shoot it through the wall so that your team can push into the site. You get closer and closer, and then suddenly you accidentally hit it and get instantly killed. That will happen no more, as now Cypher's tripwires take half a second to wind up. This means that if you're intentionally looking to shoot a tripwire, you will not be revealed right away and will have half a second to kill it. If you're not intentionally looking, it's not likely you'll kill it fast enough, so this change should not destroy a well-played Cypher, but it will definitely hurt some of the free value that he can get from those one-ways. Along with this, Cypher's neural theft is believed to be used just slightly too often, so they're bumping that up to 7 ultimate orbs from 6. I mean, come on, we were throwing those things around like hotcakes, so it kind of makes sense. Especially with the ultimate orb cost required for ultimates creeping higher and higher over the years, having a 6 ult charge is pretty insane nowadays. While we're talking about Sentinels, let's touch on Sage and Deadlock. Particularly, Sage is seeing some buffs this patch. Her slows as well as other agents' stuns will now dramatically affect the dash speed of other agents. Namely, this is big for Neon and Jet. Sometimes it felt a little lame to hit these targets with slows or stuns and just have them dash or slide away instantly. It's unclear to me if this affects Raze satchels at the moment, but keep an eye out for it. Along with this, Sage's heal now heals herself for 50 HP up from 30, and her ultimate now costs 7 ult orbs instead of 8. Now, it may surprise some of you to hear that there was a time where Sage was really meta. These are some cool changes to bring her back into the light a little bit. I'm not sure if she's going to push any other agents out of the meta at this time, but I mean, hey, Cypher is getting nerfed, Sage is getting buffed, maybe worth looking into. Along with this, Deadlock is also getting more of a bug fix. Keep in mind the stun changes should affect her, but also now her ultimate Annihilation is guaranteed to kill at the end of its duration, which will just remove those funny situations where a player gets caught on a random piece of the environment and never reaches the final destination. There's also some visual changes to her ultimate and barrier mesh, so it's easier to tell how close they are to breaking. Cool touch. We've still got a lot to talk about though, so let's get into Phoenix. This hothead is seeing somewhat of a rework this patch, swapping his flash curveball to now be his signature ability. This means that he'll get 1 charge for free every round, while still being able to purchase an additional charge. But not only that, this also means that after getting 2 kills, it will refresh an additional charge. This means if Phoenix gets 4 kills in a round, he could potentially get 4 flashes. Now, the last time that an agent had 4 flashes in a round, it ended up being pretty strong, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. There are some other cool things happening to Phoenix though. His Hot Hands no longer refreshes, of course, and costs 200 credits now. But now his heal from both Hot Hands and Blaze is considered a healing over time effect, similar to how Sage Heal would work. So as long as you touch the fire, you will gain a healing buff that lets you roam freely. This is a cool change thematically. Something that really never felt right about Phoenix was taking a fight and then having to go run into a corner and heal afterwards. He's a duelist, he should be dueling, so this lets him do that more. Finally, Blaze will now travel through the first wall that it hits, similar to how Harbor's High Tide works, which will really help him out a bit when taking space. Alright, boom. You think we're done with agent changes? We're not. Omen is actually getting a pretty big nerf this patch, although it might not look like it in the patch notes. They're nerfing Omen's ability to place one-ways on random things like lamps and probably doorways. Hard to say at this moment. This kind of sucks for Omen. A lot of his strength was in that ability to place these one-ways in a bunch of different locations on the map. This doesn't make Omen bad though. He's still got a great kit and can still place the same one-ways that other agents can. He just can't apply them literally anywhere anymore. This will mostly affect high elo. Lower elo players weren't really taking advantage of this that much, but it's a small and important tweak that you should know about if you're looking to play Omen in this patch. All right, let's talk about some of the weapons. For starters, the Phantom is getting a pretty awesome buff. The damage drop-off beyond 30 meters has been completely removed, and along with that, the initial damage drop-off has been increased from 15 to 20 meters, meaning that you just straight up will never dink somebody for 124 again, and you will not dink somebody for 140 nearly as often because of that additional 5 meters. The battle between the Vandal and the Phantom has raged on over the years, and this is actually a kind of funny change where I feel like the Phantom players are rejoicing, and the Vandal players probably are still going to run the Vandal. I'm somebody who favors the Vandal, but would tend to use the Phantom in really close range situations, and honestly, I think this change is super awesome. Before, for me, the Phantom almost felt like it was only usable in shotgun distances, but those extra 5 meters will really make a difference. I spoke with Dan Hardison in another video that you guys can go watch where he talks about these changes a little bit more, but they project that this should affect about 10% of your gunfights. Along with this, we're seeing a bunch of accuracy changes while moving. Run and gun has been nerfed across the board for pistols, rifles, and machine guns. These changes target both walking and running accuracy, which is important because this should remove some of that tension when you tag a player who's running and they just instantly one-tap you because they drop down to walking accuracy. Nobody likes getting killed by a moving target, so Riot is looking to tone that down a bit. Running accuracy will remain the same on things like the Spectre, Stinger, and Frenzy. This is because Riot feels these weapons are meant to be a little bit more mobile. They're close-range weapons that you're meant to be on the move with a little bit. That's not all though. The Ghost is getting a slight nerf, dropping its magazine size from 15 down to 13, and the Frenzy is stealing those 2 extra bullets and increasing its magazine size from 13 to 15. You're going to see all of these changes together affecting probably mostly pistol rounds. People tend to run and gun the most on pistol rounds, and with these magazine changes, you'll probably see slightly more power placed into the Frenzy, while also forcing pistol users to be a bit more precise with their movement. Whew, and that is going to do it for us today. There are a couple of other changes listed in the patch notes that I recommend you guys check out. Those will be linked in the description below. But again, if you guys are really looking to climb, I highly recommend checking out SkillCapped. Along with the aforementioned Aim God Masterclass, we have got Master and Minutes courses that are designed to teach you complex mechanics such as movement, positioning, and agent mastery in as quick amount of time as possible. We also have a Calm Aim course on the horizon coming out sometime this month that will teach players how to aim like some of their favorite pros and slow down the game for themselves, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Check all that out using the link in the description below. My name's Casey, and we'll catch you in the next one.